So this is part 5 on the truth behind the U.S. corruption and how it started. Now, a lot of people have been making comments basically saying that you should be afraid of making these types of posts because they usually get people that talk about this specific type of stuff out of here. But, if there's any post that I'm kind of like, a little timid to make, it's this one and it's going to be my next one. And in my last post, I was talking about how Congress undermined other Congress members during Christmas while they was busy with their families. Now, see, Congress signed it, but they was in on it with President Woodrow Wilson at the time. See, they made a generous contribution to his campaign elections, and they knew he'd sign it because he made an oath to sign it before they give him any dollar. But he later regretted that decision when he came out with a statement in 1919 basically saying, "I am a most unhappy man. I have unwittingly ruined my country. A great industrial nation is now controlled by a system of credit. We are no longer a government by free opinion, no longer a government by conviction and vote of the majority, but a government by opinion and duress of a small group of dominant men." In the very next year, you guessed it, World War I started. But it's important to take into account that before the Federal Reserve, there was no such thing as a world war. Because as we all should know, no profit, no war. See, the First World War started right here in Austria-Hungary and Serbia, but it quickly shifted its focus to Germany. See, Germany had an industrial capacity that was a great threat to Britain, who at the time was seeing an extensive decline in the British pound. And although pre-war, Germany had a private central bank, the bank was heavily restricted. And they kept the inflation at reasonable levels so it wouldn't be too bad of a problem. And under the government's control, the investments was made strictly for Germany. And Germany was starting to be seen as a major power. Yeah, they didn't like that. So they used propaganda in the media to portray Germany as being the bad guy. And following the Treaty of Versailles, Germany was ordered to pay all of the costs that it took for all the nations that participated in the war, even though Germany didn't start the war. And the amount of this war costed 3 times as the amount that Germany was even worth. Now remember, Germany had a private central bank, so they owed all that money to the central bank, and that ultimately had them go into endless debt. And it resulted in the Weimar Republic, excuse me if I'm saying this wrong, but it resulted into it eventually collapsing and opened the door for Nationalist Socialism to take power. And their first financial move was to make their own state currency. And without having to borrow from any central bank, Germany went right back into the power again. Yep, Time magazine called Hitler the man of the year in 1938. I'm running out of time, but in my next video, I'll be talking more about Germany, and I'll be leading into John F. Kennedy because we are not done and we're nowhere near finished. Like and follow for part 6.